a blessing. He's amazing. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Meet Lucas, a lively, smiling 6-year-old with Angelman syndrome, a severe developmental disability.
He has like no self-preservation skills, so he'll go up to a light bulb and just grab it and he'll laugh. He has like a different threshold of pain.
Mary and Grant Hultman say despite Lucas's energy, he won't be able to talk and wasn't supposed to walk. But after years of horse therapy, he's surprisingly steady on his feet.
You make me nervous.
So when they heard a service dog might be able to calm Lucas, interrupt his outbursts, and keep him safe, they were sold.
The hope was that she would be tethered to him by like a leash, and he'd have like something around his waist. That way, if he were to, bolt towards the road, we could tell the dog to stop, and she would prevent him from doing that.
They found Compassionate Paws, a Wisconsin charity that offers service dogs trained especially for kids like Lucas. The only issue was the expense, nearly $10,000 in training and adoption fees. But family held a fundraiser to pay for Happy. The Great Pyrenees Compassionate Paws said would help Lucas with critical skills like boundary training and behavior disruption. Things didn't go as planned.
There's so many things she was so afraid of. I mean, she was terrified of Grant, my husband.
She was scared of our phone whenever it would go off. She's scared of the TV.
We paid $10,000 for a dog that's not potty trained.
Worse yet, Happy seemed to have no interest in Lucas.
That's pretty much what happens.
And trying to push the issue, and it even got to the point where she'd nip at him.
Devastated, Mary started researching Compassionate Paws and learned other families had similar complaints against the owner.
That first month, every day I was in tears because I was finding more people that this had happened to, and I was like, there's no way she doesn't know that she's screwing people over.
In fact, 7 other families who got service dogs for their kids have sued Compassionate Paws, alleging conspiracy, fraud, and intentional misrepresentation. Their stories were the same: dogs lacking service skills, potty training, and basic obedience. Compassionate Paws told them their contract was non-refundable, but they could bring Happy in for an evaluation.
We don't want you evaluating the dog you said you already trained.
12 News came to Compassionate Paws here in Waushara County. No one answered at the door.
Think there's anybody over there?
As 12 News headed to the dog barn, a pickup pulled up. Is this where Vicki lives? Well, this is her address. All right. What can you tell us about this lawsuit? The man declined to identify himself, but tailed 12 News to the car.
Go! Get out!
The Hultmans say they don't have the money or the energy to join a lawsuit, but they intend to warn others about Compassionate Paws.
Our goal is to put her out of business and make sure she doesn't do this to anyone ever again.
For now, Happy is loved, a $10,000 family pet. There is no agency that regulates service dog trainers. Families often complain to the Better Business Bureau and state consumer protection offices, and that's happened in this case. Now, the key will be the contract. The Hultmans' contract with Compassionate Paws is nearly 20 pages long, and it spells out all the training Happy was supposed to get. That will be the issue in the lawsuit involving the other families as well. That case is still working its way through court, Craig.
So what's the family going to do in the future?
Yeah, well, actually, the Hultmans hope to get a trained service dog in the next year. They say they hope a friend or relative nearby will be willing to take Happy.
Which could be, of course, a happy ending to this story as well, because Happy could stay with the family.
I'd be embarrassed to say, this is what we did with your money. That's a slap in all their faces.
All of a sudden, we're in a worse position than we were before.
In the contract, the families were told that the dogs would give their kids with special needs some much-needed help, like calming techniques when the children get out of control. But when WCCO's Liz Collin investigated, her search for answers from the company selling the dogs ended in a way you wouldn't expect.
Oh, Daddy's home.
Every day I come home, he's in the window waiting for me.
He is a little boy who lights up for those he loves, unable to ever tell his family how he feels.
I was thinking, well, it would be great for him to have someone there for him.
The Hultmans believed the time had finally come to give Lucas the voice he'll never have of his own.
He's 6 and he's probably at like a 1-year-old level.
The Wisconsin family has been desperate to improve life for their son after doctors diagnosed him with Angelman syndrome.
Come here, buddy.
It's a condition marked by smiles and laughter, while those who care for these kids are constantly reminded of all they'll miss.
The only thing that kind of like will keep you up at night as a parent is just thinking like you want more for him. Can you play with Happy?
It's why the Haltmans were convinced relief would come from what they were told would be a highly trained Great Pyrenees.
It's heartbreaking. It is unbelievable.
Donation drives in 3 different states raised the $10,000 they needed
Come here.
to bring the dog named Happy home this summer.
Can you lay down, Happy?
The contract said Happy would be trained in obedience, know how to behave on and off a leash, in public, and what to do if Lucas would start to act out.
I'd be embarrassed to say, like, this is what we did with your money. Come here, girl. Come here. Can you come here?
But the dog
Come here. Nope. Happy, sit.
couldn't do anything
Happy, shake.
even close.
There's people taking advantage of people all the time,
Lay down. Lay down.
but to go and take advantage of special needs kids,
Lay down.
there's no words to describe it.
She can't walk a straight line.
The struggle is the same at the Wall Rafts in Woodbury.
Bella, leave it. Let's go. Bella?
After working for months to raise the money,
Come on.
they brought Bella home in August,
Bella.
told she would calm their 12-year-old son Andrew, who has autism.
All of a sudden, we're in a worse position than we were before.
Jenny says Bella has chewed and ripped her way through their home since she got here, leaving her mark at least a few times a day.
I think I've shampooed this carpet at least 5 to 10 different times.
Yeah.
And when they tried to get answers,
I got a 3rd birth date from her that says that she was born in 2010.
they couldn't even tell how old Bella is,
Doesn't add up.
Doesn't add up.
or if she's had all of her shots.
I can't believe that somebody can operate like this and continue to do it.
Both dogs came from Compassionate Paws. Its mission statement is repeated all over its website, training service dogs for those who suffer from developmental disabilities. 8 different Minnesota and Wisconsin families are suing the company with the same complaint,
Happy, sit.
that its dogs aren't trained in anything. Even worse, allegations the pets have bitten people, knocked children down, and attacked other animals. Most claim they had no choice but to give the dogs up, and all say they were never given their money back. So far, the Wall Rafts and Haltmans are not a part of the lawsuit.
We're already stressed out and just looking for some help, and she's taken advantage of us.
Vicki Pingle runs Compassionate Paws. When our calls went unanswered, we went to her farm in Pine River, Wisconsin.
Hi, we were looking for Vicki. Do you know if she's around?
Her husband told us she wasn't.
Sir, we're just trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Are these dogs being trained? I mean, there are 10 families that say they're not.
Get out.
We left and watched him watch us go. Until moments later, when we heard gunfire.
Get in here.
To see people jerked around and sent in different directions and money taken from them without a dog to help their child, it's a really, really sad thing.
Alan Peters is the executive director and founder of Can Do Canines.
Touch. Good boy.
In 24 years, his organization has trained more than 400 assistance dogs.
Go tug.
Its pets are already spoken for 3 years out.
They bump into a long waiting list and then they start looking for other opportunities, and that's where the trouble begins.
So Peters says families turn to the internet and companies like Compassionate Paws. Its website allows people to donate directly to help kids get their dogs. But in Andrew Wallraff's case, we found his donation page up 2 months after his parents bought Bella. His family has no idea if donations were still being made. And after watching the only training video on Compassionate Paws' website, Peters said he could tell right away something was wrong.
That video showed a woman leading a dog around, a big dog, with a piece of food.
Down.
It's something any person could do.
In their contracts with Pingle, the Wall Rafts and Haltmans both agreed to 120 hours of training for their dogs.
Wait.
At Can Do Canines, a dog will spend 900 hours with trainers.
Good boy.
The public can't tell the difference between one assistance dog and another. It affects people with disabilities everywhere.
Come here, Bella.
The Wall Rafts believe they have no choice but to look for a new home for Bella.
That hurts that I couldn't help my son.
Can you lay down? I know you want to keep shaking my hand. Can you lay down?
As for the Haltmans, they will keep Happy.
There you go.
Knowing she will never do what they were promised.
She's gotten a lot better. She's still, I don't trust her with him. Yay! Happy.
Focused again on speaking up on their son's behalf to protect other families in the same position.
She's still probably selling dogs right now. Her business needs to stop.
Vicki Pingle, and Compassionate Paws attorney, told me he did not want to comment for this story, but in court documents, the company asked for the case to be dismissed and for the families to pay Compassionate Paws for damaging its reputation and costing it business. The company says the placement of a service dog is just the beginning of training and it should continue at home. Families we spoke with, though, said Pingle will not return their calls or their emails. After our calls, guys, the state of Wisconsin is now investigating.